Hey! Recently I've been busy editing the video about testing cheats, which God knows when this is gonna be released. It's taking me forever, but it's coming. But I felt the need to crawl out of my editing room, which is the exact same room I'm in at the moment, by the way, and take some time to address the community because The Sims 2 is having a crisis. Well, I'm being a little bit dramatic at the moment, but there is a lot of chaos and a lot of misinformation going around, particularly related to The Sims 2 save file corruption. So I am sure all of you have probably heard by now that EA has decided to re-release The Sims 1 and The Sims 2. But I will be focusing solely on The Sims 2 in this video. It's available both on the EA app and on Steam, and it costs around $30 or something like that. And obviously people have been really excited for that because many people have lost their discs, many people have missed out on the Ultimate Collection giveaway, so for many, this was the first chance they had to play The Sims 2 legally in years. So naturally The Sims 2 gameplay, The Sims 2 lore is going through a bit of a renaissance right now. And unfortunately, so are the corruption myths. But this time, it isn't completely baseless. So since The Sims 2's re-release, I have seen so many different people reporting all kinds of issues. And I'm not talking about innocent bugs or glitches. It seems like many people have been experiencing genuine symptoms of corruption. I'm talking dollar subject and memories, character files disappearing, neighborhoods not loading, that kind of stuff. Just this morning, I have seen the latest video from Fake Gamer Girl, and it looks like she has experienced some of these issues as well. A couple of her Sims disappeared, and eventually her neighborhood rendered unplayable because it doesn't load anymore. She has posted about it on Twitter, and she has gotten a very strong reaction to that. There has been a substantial group of people saying things like, well, are you sure this is corruption? The Sims 2 corruption is not really a thing, it's been debunked. Are you sure you don't have OneDrive enabled? Maybe it's an antivirus. Oh, your game keeps crashing, so it's probably that. And then there's been a second group of people saying things like, well, it's a 20-year-old game, what did you expect? And besides, obviously, it's known in the community that The Sims 2 is super prone to corruption. You just look at it and it breaks spontaneously, right? So... And it's not just Fake Gamer Girl, it genuinely looks like many people have started having the same problem at the same time, with Sims disappearing. And while some of it could probably be explained by OneDrive and antivirus, a number of those people have sworn that this is not that. They've checked their OneDrive, they've checked the antivirus, and the issue is still happening. And in response to that, I have seen many comments from different people all over Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, asking things like, are you sure you haven't deleted Sims from the bin? Are you sure you haven't deleted gravestones? And just this afternoon, someone has replied to my old Reddit comments saying that deleting gravestones is 100% safe. And they asked, are you sure this is really safe? Because I've got the Legacy Collection and I've experienced all kinds of different problems with Sims disappearing after deleting the gravestone. So...
Oh shit, here we go again.
As you can see, it's a complete chaos. Where do I even begin? I don't even have a script for this video, by the way, so I'm just going off of what's currently in my mind. So unfortunately, it seems like the myths about The Sims 2 neighborhood corruption are making a resurgence. Partially because of the fact that there are genuine corruption issues in the new version of the game, and partially because the re-release has probably caused a new wave of players to come back to the game, and maybe they haven't heard about the fact that these myths have been debunked, so they just repeat what they've heard many years ago. And I feel a certain level of responsibility to address these concerns and hopefully clear out some of the confusion, because I have made that long-ass neighborhood corruption technical deep dive, which is being linked everywhere in the Sims 2 community. Every time someone mentions corruption, there is another person linking to my video. And I really appreciate that. I am really flattered that so many of you consider me knowledgeable about the subject of corruption, that you trust the information I present in my videos, and that it's been helpful to so many of you. However, I feel like for this very reason, I need to address this sort of mini scandal in the community. Especially because, as I said, I had people asking me directly about this, both in Reddit comments and in YouTube comments. I had many comments under my corruption deep dive video saying, hey, my save file got corrupted and I haven't done anything wrong. What's going on? So, let's start from the beginning. The first thing we need to address is that The Sims 2 Legacy Collection, which is what they call the re-release, is not the same as The Sims 2 Ultimate Collection. These are technically two different applications. Yes, they are both The Sims 2, both have all of the expansion packs and stuff packs, minus the fact that the Legacy Collection doesn't have IKEA. What I'm trying to say is EA didn't just take Ultimate Collection, re-released it as is, and is charging $30 for it. It's a bit more complicated than that. We have evidence that The Sims 2 source code has been modified. So for those of you who don't know, The Sims 2 has two different layers. There is a moddable layer, which is basically all of the package files, anything you can open and edit in SimPE. And then there's The Sims 2's core engine, written in C++, which we do not have access to. Only people who have access to the source code can see what's actually going on in there under the hood. And it looks like that core engine has been modified in the Legacy Collection. Mind you, I haven't actually downloaded the Legacy Collection on my computer. This is just me going off of the information I found on the internet and whatever people have messaged me directly. But it looks like The Sims 2 Legacy Collection has an entirely new version of the game's binary, which means that the source code has been modified and the game has been recompiled. And also, every file opened in the Legacy Collection has a completely different version information to the Ultimate Collection, which suggests that yes, the source code has been modified, but it's not just community suspicions. EA have basically said themselves that they have made some changes to the code to hopefully fix some issues and to adapt the game to run more smoothly on modern machines. The thing is, every single time you make changes to the source code, you are risking introducing new bugs. This is software development 101. Every time you make the change to the code, no matter how little, you are risking new bugs happening in the application. And it looks like this is exactly what happened in the case of The Sims 2 Legacy Collection. EA has made a bunch of changes to The Sims 2 source code, trying to sort out the issues on modern machines, but unfortunately, they broke a bunch of other stuff. And that doesn't surprise me at all, considering it's a 20-plus-year-old game, and people who have written it originally probably don't work for EA anymore. So for the development team working on this, it's just an entirely new project. So obviously I don't know what EA has done exactly, but from the looks of it, if I were to make an educated guess, it looks like they've changed the way The Sims 2 handles saving data substantially. Because it's not just the Sims disappearing, but the game tends to crash in those super important points when it shouldn't really crash. So basically, every time there's a loading screen. And every time there's a loading screen, the game saves the neighborhood.package. So something funky has happened in there. So yes, it seems like EA has introduced a bug which causes save file corruption in their new legacy version. And it's not just OneDrive, it's not just antivirus, it's not just the external factors. It looks like it's a genuine issue within the game's code, and EA themselves have admitted that. They've released a patch for the Legacy Collection a couple of days ago, and they have mentioned that they indeed fixed the problem of the Sims disappearing. Whether they actually fixed it or not, I don't know. I haven't actually played the game, as I said. So yeah, bottom line is the Sims are disappearing in the Legacy Collection, and it's not your fault. It's a bug in the game. So what about my corruption deep dive? All of that still applies to the Ultimate Collection, as well as all of the disc versions. It's just the Legacy Collection that seems to be broken. And I still stand by the fact that deleting Sims from the bin and deleting gravestones has nothing to do with this issue. Nothing you do in the game causes this. It's a problem with the Sims 2 source code, which EA is trying to fix at the moment. There is a super long post on the Sims 2 help subreddit called The Sims 2 Re-Release Legacy Collection FAQ, and it contains a list of known bugs that people have been experiencing since installing the Sims 2 Legacy Collection. Disappearing Sims is on the list, but that's not the only issue that players have been experiencing. So many players have reported that they are getting a ton of errors in the Legacy Collection. And I'm talking about object errors. They just keep appearing over and over in seemingly random points of the game. Certain modders have been speculating, and I 100% subscribe to that theory, that EA has unintentionally broken the manage inventory function. Manage inventory is a primitive, meaning that it's a function hidden deep within the core game files, so nobody has access to that but EA. And it's being used everywhere to do all kinds of things. It doesn't just manage the inventory as the name suggests. It's used for managing memories, tokens, gossip, everything. So whilst these are not corruption, they are basically rendering the game unplayable for many people. I'll leave you a link to this Tumblr post in the description so you can read about that in more details. But yes, basically there is speculation that EA has somehow broken the manage inventory function. That's why the players have been experiencing a lot of seemingly unrelated errors, like problems with magazine subscriptions, problems with Humble not being able to deliver the computer, stuff like that. And unfortunately, judging from the patch notes, it seems like EA is not yet aware of the issue. Hopefully they will fix that in the future. Okay, a quick update. I recorded this video on Wednesday, and whilst I was editing, EA released the second patch to the Legacy Collection on 6th of February. Apparently this patch fixes all of the managed inventory issues. People from my Discord server have confirmed that, so that's good news. Also, they have mentioned that they fixed disappearing Sims again. We shall see whether they actually did. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because those object errors appear when you have test and cheats enabled, which caused people to mistakenly believe, again, that test and cheats somehow causes those problems, that it causes corruption in the game. It doesn't. These errors happen regardless of whether you have test and cheats enabled or not. I will talk about it in more detail in my test and cheats video, but essentially the gist of it is that if you have test and cheats enabled, the game asks you, what should I do with this error? If you don't have test and cheats enabled, the game makes a decision on its own. So no, test and cheats doesn't cause those errors. That's misinformation. So if you are playing the Legacy Collection, I strongly encourage you to back up your game like every day. Every time you don't want to lose your progress, make sure to back up your game. Yes, as I've said, EA claims to have fixed the problem of disappearing Sims, but they also claim to have fixed Pink Soup, and apparently that's not true, so you need to be careful if you want to preserve your saves. And I've mentioned that on the community tab, but I've started a Discord server, and this is the easiest way to reach me. I encourage you to join this Discord server, and if you want to talk about the issues you're experiencing with the Legacy Collection, that's where you get me. And I encourage you to post all kinds of things you find wrong with the new version of The Sims 2. So yeah, this re-release has been a bit of a mess, and I really hope that EA will address all of these issues that have been reported, because there is a lot of issues. In the meantime, as I said, back up your game, and remember that I still stand by everything I said in my corruption deep dive video. I still think that the fact that deleting Sims from the bin corrupts the game, or deleting gravestones corrupts the game, I still think these are myths. I still think that whilst save file corruption happens, the majority of time it's outside of the player's control, and the best thing you can do is make backups. And that applies both to the Ultimate Collection and to the Legacy Collection. And I don't think these new glitches are proof that The Sims 2 has always historically been more prone to corruption. As I said, these are new issues introduced by the fact that EA has made changes to the source code. So I think I've said everything that needed to be said right now. I will keep investigating the issue further. In the meantime, see you in the next one.